we're gonna try this again because it's that kind of day. But you can hear birds, and you will definitely hear my husband typing. Oh, my lower back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be pretty uncomfortable with this one. Hi guys, this is different. Again, I guess for me, I'm doing a lot of different things. I am very indecisive about what I like to make. This is not like researched. This is not practiced or prepared. This is not music based. I guess I kind of wanted to try a vlog about something that's actually been taking a pretty large chunk of my life and my time, and I guess I kind of wanted to share. I guess since I haven't been able to go to like a happy hour and just like vent to people in a while, I'm venting to you from the happy hour of my living room. I wanted to share about my little bit of experience accidentally falling into kind of disordered eating. This is something that is super, super personal for a lot of people, and this is something that comes with a lot of cultural baggage with a whole bunch of stuff around it. So, you know, all those YouTube disclaimers at the beginning that I'm just sharing lessons I learned in case there is someone at all like me looking for that stuff too. I'm very, very lucky. There's a lot of resources that I'll talk about later that kind of help me get it all in back under the realm of a healthy relationship with food. But I definitely completely unexpected ended up flirting with the edge of disordered eating. This isn't supposed to be a big sad story. I didn't realize anybody can just have disordered eating behavior or a not very good relationship with food if they fall into certain patterns, and anybody can identify those patterns and work to undo them, just like with any mental pattern, right? I guess I really just thought disordered eating belonged to skinny, popular, insecure girls in the age range of 12 to 18 or 19 because of CW shows and Degrassi. Now you know how old I am. And I got very comfortably through that range with a very healthy relationship with food. I never overthought anything. I never worried about what I ate. I learned how to cook from my mother at a fairly young age, and we made home-cooked meals. They were not perfectly healthy. Portion sizes were a little on the, shall we say, comfortably American side. It was all just eat healthy-ish foods when you're hungry and don't when you're not. Pretty basic, pretty straightforward. And I was active as a kid. I wasn't the sports kid, I was the theater kid, but that's still dance, that's still exercise, that's still activity. And I was a very nerdy kid, very confident, if not overconfident young person who did not discover feeling insecure about things until later in her life. I really was just very comfortably oblivious to a lot of social dynamics and a lot of social anxieties, and so I had a really great time in those kind of teenage years that everyone thinks of as like the danger zone years. Disordered eating wasn't really on my radar until college. And I had some really intelligent, really driven, really awesome female roommates who did struggle a bit more with societal pressures of appearance and things like that. And I always kind of sat back and just thought it was so ridiculous. They were so amazing. They were gorgeous, they were interesting, they were high achieving, they were fun to be around. I just had no idea where all that pressure came from. And there was a lot I didn't know. And more often than not, the more you think you know, the more you can be at risk for being caught up in something that you thought you knew better than. I moved to Southern California to be with that knucklehead and also to pursue acting and singing full-time, right? So done with college, tried a little bit of office job stuff, realized I was ready to commit to full-time acting and singing, and so I did. And I moved out here, and my schedule was different, and now having a guy to go with me to the gym, all of a sudden I found out I loved weightlifting, and that, honestly, that might be a topic for another video if anyone wants to talk about it. I totally thought I hated the gym and weightlifting, but that was mostly just because of like gym culture and like these unwritten rules I didn't know about, and like also how straight men treat women alone at the gym. That was not great. I found that muscle building really kept me motivated and kept me energized, and so I got really into gym culture. I mean, it was just compared to where I grew up, Arizona, where summers are like 120 degrees. Suddenly I had beautiful weather. I was outdoors so much, especially since I did not have a ton of money as an actress and singer. Outdoor hobbies became a go-to, especially ones that just involved being able to pick up and walk yourself around and look at things. My brain needs a lot of stimulation a lot of the time. So I just started getting kind of really active. And now that all of the food budgeting was based on my income, we definitely got a lot more careful on the home cooked meal front. And I started losing weight completely accidentally. I didn't have a scale. I wasn't keeping track. I didn't use the scale in the gym. I did not even know. I was just having a grand old time transitioning into a new phase of life. And for me, at the time, these patterns were just part of that new phase of life. Mostly this all sounds pretty okay. So, where the heck does this disordered eating come into play? Well, I got a really nice role at a theater back in Arizona, from where I'm from. And so I was traveling back for that contract, and I had worked with this theater before, and they were measuring me for the costumes, and the costumers at the time commented on how great I was looking, on how much weight I had lost, and how they were going to have to take in the costumes. And they were so complimentary and so excited, and I started to notice in a lot of places different kind of treatments or a lot of comments on my weight loss and how good I was looking and how great LA must be for me and blah, blah, blah. And that clicked something in me, something not so good. I started really fixating on my weight because I really liked the progress I had done. I mean, and I was looking toned as well. It was muscle, not just losing weight. And so I got too results oriented because all of a sudden there was this attention attached to my results, and it did seem to involve my employability. There were also some negative comments. I had a well-meaning acting teacher tell me that I was looking really good. I could still afford to lose a few pounds, but really this was going to be very good for my transition into the professional world. I didn't appreciate that what had gotten me my first results was the fact that I wasn't thinking about it at all. I was listening to my body, and I was listening to my budget, and I was finding a balanced life that was good for me. And instead I just thought, that last little bit's going to be harder because I kind of was hitting a plateau, and so I need to just work that much harder for that last little bit. Now I started following fitness inspiration accounts on social media and had channels recommended to me on YouTube. And a lot of the people I was following were body types that I'm not. No matter how much I could squat, no matter how much I could deadlift, I was never going to look like that. That's not how my body is. But I didn't understand the importance of following fitness accounts that are science-based and are also honestly similar to your kind of constitution, so that way you can have a mentor who connects to you in that way. Or if you prefer, you can have a mentor that's totally different. Like for me, following male fitness inspiration channels, because I'm not going to compare myself to that at all. If you're a singer, you've totally dealt with this kind of dilemma when deciding your voice teacher. If you're a mezzo soprano, do you select a very renowned mezzo soprano teacher because she understands the instrument so well? Or do you select a baritone because this person will really be looking at your instrument completely isolated of your desire to mimic their sound or to try to reproduce sounds that aren't organic to you. It's really just going to be a technician looking at your mechanics. Some people totally love teachers who are very similar to them. Some people totally love teachers very different than them. And some people like both at different times in their lives and everything in between. But for some reason, I couldn't apply that logic that I understood in the singing community to my relationship with kind of fitness mentors. I continued to train obsessively. I tried Whole30. I tried keto. I tried a variety of things, and I'm not going to tell you that they didn't do interesting things, but I will tell you that they were not good for my mindset because they were so incredibly restrictive. In the case of keto, it was highly restrictive with seemingly instantly observable results. Now, most of that, in hindsight, I figured out was just losing water weight. It was feeding the reward cycle of restrict and then lose weight, restrict and then lose weight. And I would cross over this little plateau I had for myself. I would feel amazing that I did it. See, hard work does pay off. And then I would crash. And then I would kind of binge because I was asking my body to do an insane amount of weightlifting and surfing and training and swimming and running. I was asking it to do that on sometimes less than 1,000 calories a day. And my body, being the superhero that it is, tried to save itself and fought me and said, bitch, no. Fought me by giving me incredible amounts of hunger. And so then I thought, oh, well, I'll just have a cheat day. It's good for my metabolism. I better not mess up my metabolism. And I just got myself into kind of this cycle where I would restrict and then I would kind of binge and then I would not feel good. I would be very upset at myself because I would always go back above that plateau or because I would always feel like I had failed myself somehow because I had wrapped my mind around this concept that weight loss was a journey of defeating myself instead of being on my side. I fell for it. That's what is so humbling or humiliating is the harsher word, but I fell for it. I fell for the restriction. I fell for fad diets, even though I had been told a million times there were no shortcuts. I guess I thought I was special because I can work so hard and I can achieve so much that I thought, well, it's not a shortcut. I'm just really fast. I'm just really hardworking. I'll just be really mean to myself. And somehow that will make my body feel healthy. I was comfortably an adult. I was old enough that I shouldn't be easily manipulatable by images on social media. I was cognizant enough that a lot of that stuff was fake. Not fake, but that I was comparing myself to people with different economic situations than my own, with different genetic situations than my own, with different careers than my own, right? And I was comparing myself to people that I had no business comparing myself to. It's so clearly insane in hindsight, but I so believed it. Luckily, because of years of a lot of self-love and years and a very strong community of people who love me and care about me, as soon as I started kind of hearing that inner hateful critic, I started recognizing this isn't good. This isn't how I should be feeling. I shouldn't be this obsessed over what I am and am not eating. I don't like my relationship with food anymore. It's not fun. And it's not healthy. And I can't just eat with my friends anymore. I am so grateful that there were alarm bells that pulled me back before I got so deep in that it was a much harder recovery. I caught it in part thanks to the same social media platforms that played a part in taking me there. So, I'm definitely not here to vilify YouTube or social media or anything because I started to find these channels that actually it turned out other athletic, hardworking, high-achieving women were coming to terms with the fact that what they thought was fit was actually disordered eating behavior and how they got out of it. I found Stephanie Buttermore and I found Natasha Ocean. These were channels that were coming at it from a place of humility, a place of athleticism. Watching these experiences of these people, more about finding the version of balance that not only works for them psychologically, but actually works for their body, because they are giving their body enough fuel to function the way that they want to function. And so instead of thinking about the product I want to be and have physically, think about the function I want to be able to achieve. How do I want to sing? How do I want to be able to move? Do I want to be able to do martial arts again? Do I want to be able to surf? Do I want to be able to run? And then build my life balance around that. I want to be able to make a lot of art. That takes a lot of time that I cannot devote to fitness because there are only so many hours, and sleep is really, really important for my body. So I am not going to take away from sleep, and I'm not going to take away from music just so I can be excessively fit. I don't know why do a weird vlog when I'm not a fitness channel, and while I am proud of my health, I am still on my own journey of figuring out what fitness is going to be for me, what I want that to look like, how athletic I want to be, how much time I want that to take, how much food I want to consume, how much time I want to take cooking home-cooked soups and meals and blah, 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 blah. Well, I guess if there's anyone else who's in their mid to late 20s who suddenly starts feeling this pressure that they are almost unprepared to deal with because they already thought they made it through the body image anxiety years and the social pressure years and the sexual partner pressure years. It really is true. It can hit you at any point in time. It can hit you for any reason. It's not like I had pressure from a romantic quarter. It's not like I had pressure from puberty, that kind of uncomfortable identity-seeking age, and yet I still fell for it. The point is just, I found it so interesting that it happened to me later than I thought it could happen. It happened to me despite my being able to see it in others and think, huh, I'd never do that. I'd never go down that path. So if you're someone who's struggling with that, I guess I just wanted to say, it's hard, man. You can actually make your own fitness journey harder on yourself by restriction. And even wellness and self-care. How can self-care turn into so much self-abuse? It's just, it really is true, you're not alone. And that the very same visuals and external comparisons, those same mediums also provided me the information and the stories of other people like me who also had to kind of unprogram some of these messages. I might be able to say that mine was in large part career related because there are so much visual pressures in my industry and I am kind of a product. However, I don't think it's fair entirely to pin that all on that. I think a lot of it was as simple as I started to achieve something I didn't think was really possible for me, and then I wanted more. And I thought the only way to get more was to do what all of these things were selling. And I found it so interesting that it was in the successes that lied so much danger. In the successes were also the seeds for my own future cruelty to myself. And I guess that's probably why people say know why you're doing something. If you're looking for a first step in a fitness journey, and you would all think you'd be wanted to know my opinion, which you probably don't. I would say I feel like everything I've seen has always been listen to your body. If your body wants to get strong instead of cardio, listen to it. If your body wants to eat heavy protein leaning, listen to it. I'm beginning to realize that my body knows better than I do. I can be such a know-it-all. But my body actually knows when it comes to my body. Things like my mood, my ability to sleep, my ability to do things I like to do, those are all signs I'm on the right track. And things like depression, negativity, not wanting to sing, restrictive foods that leave me feeling weak and tired, cravings to binge on calorie-dense foods like Oreos that I never even grew up on. I wasn't even allowed to have sugary cereal as a child. We could only have sugary cereal for dessert mixed with a plainy granola-y whole wheaty cereal. If your body is mad at you, maybe it has a reason. And if you're not sure what that reason is, that's what doctors and therapists and psychologists, maybe nutritionists, maybe they can help. And if the first one that you get you don't like, that doesn't have to be the one that you go with forever. I've had to go through a couple different medical professionals before I found one that I actually felt like was listening to me. I actually felt like was on the same page with me, and I actually felt like was giving me recommendations that were working. It sucks to have to keep going back to the drawing board sometimes when you're asking for help, especially, or you're turning to experts and they're not as expert as you thought they were going to be. But you just pat yourself on the back for doing the work. That's all that you can control. You can't control if you've found the right doctor for you the first time, but you can control trying and making that appointment and putting it as a priority on your time list. I use a little toggle time management app, not even because I really need to manage my time, but because when I'm feeling bad about what I've achieved, when I'm feeling like I haven't gotten a lot done, I can look back at it and see how much work I put into what I'm doing. And even if it's not finished, even if I'm not finished, I can be proud of myself for what I put in to what I'm working on. Disordered eating can be unprogrammed the more you learn to trust yourself, forgive yourself, and if need be, recruit some knowledgeable experts to help assist you in becoming trustworthy and managing your own body. And the only thing that worked for me was tuning out those voices and trying to listen to this voice. You think for such a talkative, bossy bitch that my body would talk as loudly and as bossy as I do. And yet it took patience, it took kindness. I had to be better at active listening, I guess. That being said, oh, this feels so weird to say, I'm still on a fitness journey I'm actually very excited about for once. A lot of us are always going to be finding the balance between prioritizing health, financial wellness, emotional, psychological wellness, spiritual wellness. And we're also going to be dealing with swimming against the current, as it were, because our society is going to kind of prioritize a lot of the financial motivators, because we are a society so much built around consumption, purchase, sale, product. I am at a stage where I am using a program for myself because I am still trying to dial in my routine. And this program is built with the help of nutritionists and with the help of psychologists to help you experiment and dial in safely your routine. I'm actually a huge fan of Noom, and they're definitely not going to pay me for a commercial or anything. But if you guys ever do want to know about why or my experience, totally happy to talk about that, just not in this video. Okay, thanks, bye. In all things but like acting and singing, I generally need loud cues. I'm a very direct person, and I generally need other people to be very direct with me. But in my acting and my singing, I've learned to pick up on really subtle cues, and I'm trying to apply that to more parts of my life. And my appetite and my own body's health is one of them. I'm trying to listen to more subtleties in my health and respond to them and accept them and welcome them. So I stopped restricting pretty hardcore. When people say fitness is a lifetime commitment or a lifelong journey, I think it's more like you are just literally going to be balancing your whole life, how you want to live, with what the circumstances around you are. even once you dial in a balance, when things change, your balance changes. I don't know, I hope you kind of liked my story time. It felt important to me because I never thought it would happen to me. And it actually was something that actually impacted my health, my career, my romantic life, my ability to function as me. It became pretty important in my life. And I will say that I am kind of dialed in a routine I like right now. And that's why I feel comfortable enough to talk about it. And even then, this took a lot of pauses and a lot of start and stops in the recording. But even if your body is not on your list of things you struggle with, I'm just going to assume, given what the whole world is going through, you've got something, and I bet you're going to nail it.